It's all about translations for WP Symposium Pro and giving users the option, if you want, to be able to switch between languages. So this is just a bog standard WordPress installation, 2012 theme with WP Symposium Pro. This is my profile edit page. So in admin, you've got this new translations option under WPS Pro, which goes through the options you have in order to translate text which is shown on your website. The easiest by far is shortcodes. Pick any shortcode and any bit of text and you can type in an alternative bit of text to show on the screen. So this one, for example, is showing on the profile page. Town/city is what appears as entered into this shortcode option page. So I'm going to just do a little bit of Google translating to get town and city for another language, and we're going to choose Catalan. So hopefully this is spot on. Google Translate, not always the best, but not bad. Paste the text and label for town city, and Bob's your uncle, town and city becomes the Catalan translation. Do a second example, we'll change country, and we'll translate that to Catalan as well. If you go through all the shortcodes, there's a variety of text options there, pretty much every bit of text that's used by Symposium Pro, which allows you to change the translation, which is great if your site is going to be set in primarily one language for your users. There's another example, and another one. Okay, so I'm going to reset all my shortcode options just to get us back to the default English, and then look at the next option we have available on the translations page. So we can do a full translation of the plugin using an application like Poedit, which will create a .mo file, which is a compiled language file, which you create from a .po or .pot file, which is the English version that allows you enter the translations. This file here, which I'm highlighting, is the default translation file based upon the languages that you've chosen in settings general for your site. So if you were to create a mo file, I'll just show you actually where you set it, general settings down there. So if you create a mo file for your language and create it as prompted for the default mo file based on default locale, it will be used on your website. So it allows you to translate the entire set of strings rather than go through all the shortcode options. Translation page on WP Symposium Pro includes downloads for the various mo files and po file for you to use. This section here, using something like Poedit, allows you to open up the .pot file which you'll download, enter in your translations and save as a .mo file. Oops, didn't want to go there, sorry, we'll come on to that in a second. What I wanted to show you was the Poedit application that you'll use to translate this downloaded pot file to create the compiled .mo file. If it's all right, sounds like hard work, it's not too bad once you've done it once and get going. This here is the mo file that you'll create from Poedit once you've translated all your strings from the pot file. Okay. So what we can do though, which is quite nifty, is create several mo files and offer them to your users so they can switch languages between, say, English, French and German and any other languages you want. You will need to create a mo file for each language that you're going to provide. Now we do provide mo files for some common languages on the Symposium Pro website. They are created by Google Translate. They will improve over time and we encourage you to get involved because Google Translate, while okay, doesn't often understand the specifics of a plugin string, so there will be times when it just doesn't make sense, so do get involved. Anyway, so that translations folder is where you'll put the various mo files. And the first thing we're going to do is offer the users the language choices. You need to put this in a certain format in this text box, so I'm just going to copy the sample provided there for English, French and German. English is my default, and then the options I'm also going to provide is French there, and I need to, after a comma, specify what's called the locale, and we'll come on to that in a second and you'll see how it all ties together. So English, French and German. Follow the video through step by step, pausing where necessary. and it should all tie together by the end. So we've given the users the options. We now need to create or get some mo files and put them in this translations folder here, currently not available. So we're going to download the mo files that we currently have, and as I say, based on Google Translate. These will improve over time as people correct them and hopefully get involved in translating the translation files. But we're going to get the ones that we currently have available as they stand. Apologies to those who speak French and German, because I suspect you'll immediately see where they can be improved. Anyway, translation page on Pro. You'll scroll down to where we've got the multiple languages, and we've got links here for French, German, Spanish and Russian at the moment, and this will grow. But we're interested in French and German. So we're going to download French, and we're going to download German. Have a look where I've done. So I've got lots of downloads. Let me just clear that up so it's clear. I'll leave the German one and I'll just re-download the French one so you can see the file name that it's created with. Okay, so French and German, and we need to copy these two into our WP Symposium Pro translations folder, which is shown here. Okay, this folder, the path of the folder here is where you will put these mo files that you're currently downloading. So I'll copy that and open up a window for that folder. I've got a pop file here. You probably won't have that because that's just my original pop file that I was using. Your folder will probably be empty, but I want to paste in the two files that I've just downloaded from the Pro site. These two here. Copy those from my downloads folder into my translation folder as prompted. Oops, what's happened there? Okay, there they are. Okay, so they're in my translations folder for WP Symposium Pro. They must be in this folder and they must be in the file name as shown. And now they're shown, they're now listed here. As you add more, if they're not listed there, it means they're not in a valid file format. But you can begin to see here that the locale is in the file name as shown in your list of user options. Right, so having done that, we can go to Edit Profile, and on our Edit Profile we now have, where are we? Select your language. Bit of a mess, don't like it there. I want a separate tab just for language, so I'm going to go to my Setup for Pro, scroll down to Edit Profile page and create a new tab for languages. If you're not using tabs, no worries, but I quite like to have it in a tab format. So created a tab, and now as an option I have languages here, which I can switch to the language tab. Quite a lot to take in, so just to go through the video, pause it at each step and follow it step by step. There we have our language tab, and now I can select my English to French or German as shown here. Just to show that this first item here before the comma is the label that shows on the drop down list. If I refresh my page, we now have those 5 capital A's are shown where I entered them there. So I'll just delete those, tidy it up, and refresh the page. And now I can choose French, update. We have to reload the page to switch the language, and there we go. And apologies for those French speaking people who will probably spot problems in the Google translation. As I say, do get involved, and we can then give you access to edit those directly and download a better version. And we switch to German. Again, probably showing some problems with the German translation, which I'd be grateful if you let us know and we can improve them. But it's all in German. Okay, so that's how you can do that. But you can also switch the whole of the WordPress installation to match the chosen language. So these widget titles here, for example, are all part of WordPress and can be automatically translated to match your user's chosen language. You do need to install WordPress's own translation files, those .mo files, to correspond with the languages that you're offering your user. Read this page if you get a chance, gives you a bit of background, but the link you're looking for is this one, which gives you a page of all of the languages that WordPress can be downloaded as, and you're looking for those ideally with 100%. There's that locale which keeps popping up, which has to match, and we can download the translation for the current version. Ignore all that, but scroll down to this, which, believe it or not, is a button to download, and you want the .mo file, and click on export. So that downloads the mo file for WordPress. There it is. But what we want to do is copy it into the right folder, and it tells you one of these bullet points here. This is the folder you want to put that downloaded WordPress mo file into. So I'm going to copy that downloaded file, quickly navigate to my languages folder. There's the folder that it tells me to put it in, and I've already got one there already, actually from earlier on. Sorry, I should have tidied that up, but we've got to bring down the German one as well. So I'm going to do that. Note that it has to be renamed to match that locale. That is case sensitive and it's an underscore. Has to be exact. So let's do the German one. Okay, there's that locale. Case sensitive, it's an underscore. Scroll down to this hard to see download button and export the mo file for German. There it is. So I need to put that into my WP content languages folder. That one there. Okay, paste it and rename it to the locale. That locale, again, they all match there, case sensitive, and it's an underscore. I'll just copy that and rename by pasting it. So that's DE underscore and then capital DE. Can't stress enough that it has to match case sensitivity and the underscore. And there's that locale, and now you can see it all ties together. That's the link between them all. So German and French. Okay, and all I have to then do is tick this box here and save. And you can see immediately everything's changed to German. If I go to my profile now, there they are. We all have German translations as well. You won't translate other plugins. There are hooks and filters available if you're technically inclined, but it will translate the WordPress installation. If I switch to French, we now have it in French. Okay, so a very quick way of switching between languages. Notice the menu is not translated. You're going to have to use things like icons in a multilingual language or other plugins to manage your menu in different languages. As I say, we will happily work with you if you have a plugin with a hook or filter to pick up the chosen language of the current user. It just sits as an option within the WordPress database, which can be picked up by other plugins and themes to automatically switch languages if those plugins and themes have that ability. Okay, so on the translation page, there is another option for using WPML, which is a particularly good WordPress language. This can be used to switch languages and switch other things beyond Symposium Pro. And I will be adding more information on how to get WPML to work with the chosen option of the user. So do watch that page. It will be updated as we learn more about other plugins and themes and how they can pick up the chosen language from the user selection. Just want to mention poeditor.com. This is where we manage all the translations. If you want to get involved, and we'd love you to, you can come on here and help us translate and get an export. And the great thing is, if you do it here, you're contributing to other people's websites. Easy to do and re-export. So please do get in contact, and we'd love to love you if you would help us out doing so. Other than that, thank you very much. Have fun and let us know how you get on.